In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt podcast.
Is a motorhome warranty worth having?
Smart Motorways are making the news again.
And we answer your questions on using Solbio organic toilet chemical. And we also discuss fighting condensation.
Welcome to the Motorhome Matt podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights and expert advice for the world of motorhomes, campervans and caravans. It's brought to you by thatleisureshop.com.
Remember to follow on your favourite podcast app and subscribe on YouTube. Sponsored by arabasecreative.co.uk.
Straight in then, Matt. Smart Motorways. We started this year, 2023, with an interview with the president of the AA, Edmund King. Since you did that interview with Edmund King, Matt, Smart Motorways have been scrapped. But the campaign group Smart Motorways Kill have estimated there have been over 100 deaths linked to Smart Motorways since 2016. And most recently, coroners, 8 of them, have written a letter to National Highways criticising their spending of over £500,000 defending legal actions either by victims or the families of victims who were killed on Smart Motorways.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. £525,549.
And the coroners are making the point is, these people have been either injured or killed. There's no dispute. We're coroners. We receive, very sadly, the body, and we have an inquest. And the inquests have found that, yes, they were killed on the motorway, and it was no fault as far as they were concerned. So they're saying to National Highways, stop spending this money. You're spending taxpayers' money defending cases against taxpayers who have either been badly injured or killed.
I know, they are shocking. And the number of times that I've been on a smart motorway this year and seen somebody stopped on the inside lane and the red X isn't on. And you think, I saw somebody pull out really hard into lane 2 to avoid this young girl stuck in lane 1. I wish I had a dash cam and I'd recorded it and I would have shared it on social, because they are lethal. They really are dangerous. If I could avoid going on one, I would.
Edmund King, in that interview, I remember being very shocked at the beginning of the year, hearing him say that certain car models, he named an MX-5, so I'm happy naming it, can't be seen by the radars on these smart motorways.
Well, they're too low.
So if you break down, actually, the intelligent system is blind.
Yeah, quite. I took my daughter to Brighton University for an open day. I know you've been doing the university open days too. And we took a Z4, a little BMW Z4 of ours. It was a nice day, so we drove up with the roof down. And I was very conscious that I would probably not be picked up by the cameras if we broke down in lane 1. Knowing my cars, it was highly likely. It didn't, thankfully. But if it had, I was constantly watching for an escape route. Do you know what I mean? It's just being mindful of that they're horrible. Why do we have them?
National Highways have been criticised by politicians as well over this, about the spending over £500,000 on these cases. So we'll see how this progresses. We know there's not going to be any more smart motorways, but when the government cancelled them, the one down through the Reading junctions on the M4 was partially built, and that's since been instituted. So there are still those smart motorways there, and they are still dangerous.
They are still dangerous. And the question is, I know Rishi's not going to spend any more money on new ones, but is he going to spend any money on taking the current ones away? That's the question.
There you go. We'd like to hear your views on this, if possible, please. We'll give you details of how you can get in touch a little bit later on. OK, then let's go into our product of the week. Then, Matt, it's Christmas gifts.
It's that time of year.
I'm feeling so festive. I've got some mistletoe strapped to me. Well, I can't say. I can't say.
I'm coming nowhere near you.
Yes. Just where King Henry had his Hampton Court.
Christmas gift ideas. Here's an idea. Look at this. If you're a VW camper van, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. I'm holding up a foldable kids chair. Look at that.
Is it a child's chair? I thought it was for you.
If I could get in it, I wouldn't get out. It's even got a little safety catch as well, so the kids can't get their hands strapped. And for the VW lovers among us, I know we're motorhome Matt here. Look at this, VW wash bag. Little camper van wash bag. How cool is that?
I was out driving around the other day and I saw one of the original restored combi vans the other day, and actually it reminds you of the good old days, because you don't see them anymore, the original ones.
Oh, well, the bay window or the split screen?
It was the one with the tent on top.
Okay, the original one.
Yeah. It looked fantastic.
They're worth a lot of money, you know.
They are. Yeah. Also, I've got this. There you are. So
that's you all over. That is.
That is. So,
Tugger.
Thank you. So instead of having a full-size one, you can have a little one.
A miniature car and caravan toy kit.
You can't go on holiday with it, but you can push it around and go brum, brum, brum.
Yeah, you can. You can take it on holiday with you. I'll tell you, the kids love those. We have, rather cunningly, got them on the till, and parents hate it.
This is a Volvo. This is the same car I've got.
I know, exactly. That's why it's here. See, I told you it's one for you.
No, thank you very much. Yeah.
Every caravan tower should have a Volvo.
I think this one is parked up at the site because I'm just looking in there. There's somebody sitting on the loo. But anyway,
I hope they're using Solbio.
It's amazing what they can do these days.
And this for your loved one. This is a dog robe. So this is a present for your four-pawed friend. This is a little dressing gown for your four-pawed friend. Yeah. So we've got a little video on the shop website, that leisure shop. Reggie, our little border terrier, wearing one of these. We've got a bright orange one like this, and they're a brilliant robe when your dog comes back off the walk. Tuck them in this. It's like a doggy dressing gown. They are brilliant. Dries them off, cleans them, and they come with, or you can buy, look at this, dog drying mitts.
Dog drying mutts.
Mitts.
Mutts.
I'm going to put one on. Look at this. They're literally a massive mitt, and you can dry the dog's paws, dry their ears, and then put them in the washing machine when you're done.
What, the dog?
No, the mitts. You haven't got a dog, have you?
No, I haven't got a dog. No.
There are just a few Christmas gift ideas for your loved ones.
He's going to put that back in the shop and sell it. You know that, don't you?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
I've only put it on my hand.
It's a birthday, isn't it?
It's our birthday coming up very soon. We're 8. Did you know that? And the company behind us here, Motorhome Holiday Company, is 8 years old this December the 15th.
How are you celebrating?
Probably buy a cake and give it to the team. Send them all home late.
But not a flash 50% off higher sales then?
We are going to do that. This is a cracking idea. So this is our birthday gift to you. If you know somebody who you think you would like to treat for Christmas for a 5-day or more trip away, we are giving 50% off. How's that?
That's half.
Half off, yeah, for one weekend only. So Friday the 15th of December, 9 in the morning, the offer will kick in and it will run until Sunday night at 9 p.m. So it's a flash sale. I'll be honest, we've never done it before. It's 50% off. You book and pay in full and you get half price offer. So you could book it as a voucher, or you could actually book the dates and firm the dates up and plan your trip away. So if you've got friends that want to come with you, or perhaps you're listening to this and you don't own a motorhome yet, you want to hire one, then this is a half price offer.
So what sort of money are we talking about then?
Probably £800 off. Depends what you're going to book.
That's worth it. That's worth it.
Depends when you go. So it could be, you spend £1,000 on a week's holiday, it's going to cost you £500.
No, that is a deal. So how do people get in touch? Just pop into the business or go to the website or what?
Yeah, pop in or go to motorhomeholidaycompany.com and there'll be an icon on the website taking you to the offer.
And with Christmas on the way, other gifts, Motorhome Holiday Company gift vouchers for your loved ones.
Yeah, so maybe you don't want to go that far and actually, book a whole week away or 5-day away, but you want to buy them a voucher. Well, you can do that at motorhomeholidaycompany.com. Vouchers start at just £50.
They do. Brilliant. Fantastic. So what you need to do is look at the written stuff around this podcast and you can click in it. Or we're going to remind you again of where they should go.
motorhomeholidaycompany.com. And we have a very special deal on our gift vouchers too. You can get a £300 voucher for just £250.
Wow.
£50 off. There we are.
What a smasher. 2 fried eggs.
There we are. What a great Christmas present.
Fantastic.
Take your friends with you on holiday and get them in a hired motorhome. They can join you in yours.
Sounds fantastic. Matt's middle name is now Santa Claus. Matt Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Sims. Oh, hody, 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 ho. Okay, that's enough of the hard sell for you, but they are great. They are great deals. They're brilliant deals.
They are great deals. And the team, I have to say, within the hire company are very excited about them all. We've never done anything like this before. I'm too much of a tightwad. Scrooge, that's what I'm thinking of. So I've said, let's do it. It's our birthday. We're 8 years old. Who knows? We're going to be 10 in a couple of years. Let's see what we do then.
So while you're listening to this, you can go onto the website and buy your gift voucher. And it is again?
motorhomeholidaycompany.com.
Fantastic. Let's get into the meat, the main part of today's podcast. Is a warranty worth the paper it's written on?
That is a phrase that has been bandied around for years, isn't it? Particularly in the motor trade. So motorhomes, caravans, campervans are motor trade of a form. And I've had an increasing number of people recently say to me they're trying to buy a motorhome, and they say, Matt, don't bother with the warranty, knock 500 quid off. Or they'll say to the team here, I want to save £500, don't bother with the warranty. I've had them for years, they're not worth having. And I actually don't agree. I have first-hand experience of making a warranty claim, and it was very, very positive. We work with a company called MB&G, so we choose here to buy a warranty when we sell a motorhome, which gives the customer peace of mind with a third party. It also means if you're in Scotland on holiday, you haven't got to bring it back here for us to fix it, or negotiate with us on us paying a garage to fix it. It means you've got that kind of ring fence and safety net of a warranty company behind you. And those are the two types of warranty, really. One that's outsourced and purchased as a policy, or the dealer will underwrite a warranty.
I suppose customers have got a bit cynical because it started off with electrical items, didn't it? And it's then sort of got into the motor trade.
Yep.
Is you're being sold insurance, and you buy a television, and for another £60 you get an extended guarantee, and you think, well, if the thing's any good, why don't I need to buy an extended guarantee? And it's the same when you buy, especially second-hand motor vehicles these days.
Yes.
They say, well, how about a warranty? And you sort of think, well, they're just doing it because they're getting a commission. Am I right or wrong?
There's an element of truth in that. There may well be a commission if the salesman has upgraded your warranty, and then of course they try and sell you something called gap insurance as well, which is a different type of insurance policy. But the reality is the motorhomes come new with a warranty from the manufacturer, which lasts typically 2 or 3 years on all the components inside. And the water ingress warranty, they're increasingly, so this is a warranty against damp, they're increasingly being extended to 10 years from new. So they're getting longer and longer as manufacturers get more confident with the materials they're using. But the reality is motorhomes are becoming more complicated. The amount of tech in them these days, electric up and down beds, technology in the sound systems, the fridges, the cooking, induction hobs, these things are all mechanical, electrical, they go wrong. They can fail at any point. And basically it's a house and you're going to drive it down the road. You're going to rattle something loose. So it's peace of mind. I think that's where a warranty is worth its paper it's written on. And as I say, making a claim has, for me, been a very positive experience with MB&G.
So how much of my budget, if I'm buying a motorhome, should I set aside for a warranty?
So we include it for free. We pay for it, and that's why people are saying to us buying a second-hand motorhome, knock the warranty off, Matt, and knock 500 quid off. And they can cost, it depends what cover we're putting on, but anything from £300 to £700 depending on the warranty. We include that within the cost. We're not able to sell that, but then the customer could upgrade the warranty. They could make it go from a 1-year warranty to a 2-year warranty, or upgrade the cover. But it's about the customer having that peace of mind, I think.
And it is about the cover, isn't it? Are you covered for all eventualities? Reading the small print, does it include my tyres? Does it include scraping the wheels on a curb? Does it include, I don't know, my little Johnny, the 7-year-old, sticking a potato on the exhaust pipe? All those sort of things. And that's where insurance companies have made us cynical, haven't they? Because
they have,
you ring them up and they say, I'm sorry, that's not actually covered.
Well, what's great with MB&G, certainly, is their policy is very detailed of what they will cover and what they won't cover, more importantly. And they also they publish how much they are prepared to pay. So say an alternator fails, there is an amount of money pegged to an alternator replacement that they will pay. And bear in mind, these guys are very experienced. If a reversing camera fails, it won't be the first one they've paid out to replace. And they do fail. They're exposed to the elements. You're driving along in the wet and all that water's buffeting against the back of the van. They do fail, and they will have an amount of money that they will pay. So they are very experienced at what the repairs cost.
And a lot of your insurance will also say that you've got to keep your maintenance up to date. I remember years ago I was caught out by this. It was a car, not a motorhome, but my diesel pump failed in a Ford Mondeo, and I had an insurance policy which covered breakdowns and failures. And when I rang the insurance company, they said, well, when was your last service? And I said, and he said, well, it's 3 months. Overdue. But it's a diesel pump that wouldn't have been checked. He said, doesn't matter. And they just returned my premium to me, and I had to spend £1,000 getting it mended.
And I guess this is where cynicism comes from, because that's what it is, isn't it? If there's any way an insurance company can wiggle out of it, they will. That's what I hear. And yes, there may be some truth in that. But, that's about using a warranty company which are reputable. And if they wiggle out of it and constantly wiggling out of it,
yeah.
Wiggling out of it, everyone's just going to take to social media and throw them under the bus, aren't they? So, they'll never sell a policy ever. So it's about having a warranty from the best provider. As I say, we've used MB&G for years and a very positive experience with them. Jeff, who looks after us, our account manager, is brilliant. And I've asked him time and time again to come on the podcast to have this discussion, and it was a constant no. And then recently, we were at the Motorhome Caravan Show in Birmingham this October, and Danny came up to me, Danny Robertson, he's the head of field sales at MB&G and Jeff's boss. He said, I'd like to come on the podcast and have a chat with you. So, okay, well, I've been asking you for years, and it's been a no. And then the next thing, that evening, I get a text from Jeff saying, our MD, Paul Smith, wants to come on as well. So we got their attention, and I actually managed to pin them down and get some time with them back in the show. Now, for those of you that have bought a motorhome, you may have been offered a warranty, or a caravan in fact, by MB&G. They're prolific in the motorhome caravan industry. Is that fair to say?
We've been at it for 45 years. We're getting quite good now.
Quite good. So I'm seeing an increasing number of people just say, Matt, don't bother with the warranty. Knock 500 quid off the purchase price. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Is that a silly statement? Are they wrong?
I think that is definitely a silly statement. I think.
Well, you would say that, wouldn't you?
I would. You're right. But I think the technology that's now coming into motorhomes and caravans, the equipment that these things have on board now, our products offer such a comprehensive range of cover, up to the retail value of the product. With all electrical and all mechanical cover. Given the cost of a refrigerator replacement being at like £2,500 now. It would be silly not to have a warranty, surely. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I agree. But of course, there's a cap on how much you'll pay out. You say up to the retail price of the motorhome. My motorhome cost me 140 grand. Is that what you'd pay out?
Yeah, correct. That is what it pays out. It is back to retail value on a lot of our products. Obviously, there's never going to be a claim for that value, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because we're only covering the electrical, mechanical part of the vehicle and also the components inside. But it gives the customer and the policyholder peace of mind to let them know that if anything fails inside the vehicle in terms of an expensive item, that it is covered, and they're not going to be capped by a claims limit.
Go on, Paul.
And don't forget that claims limit is over the course of the year, so you can have more than one claim.
Oh, right, okay.
And that has a value of itself. We don't expect lots of claims on any one vehicle, but if you're unfortunate to have two or three, well, we treat the third one as kindly and as respectfully as we'll treat the first. That's what we're there for.
I get it. So that retail value, though, is only up to a certain age of a vehicle. Is it 5 years?
It's up to 5 years,
yeah.
and then we have policy claims limits thereafter,
which is typically £1,000.
It's 1,000 or it's 5,000. It depends what the customer decides to buy, and it depends what the dealer offers. Because a lot of these products are offered by dealers at point of purchase, and the value there. And one of the interesting things about I don't use warranties, I find they're a waste of time, is how many dealers go down that route for 2 years and then they come back to us and said, "Can you come back, please? I'm really fed up with all these customers coming to me, making claims, falling out with them. I've had good customers, they've been with me for 5 years, they bought 3 vehicles, and now we've fallen out." If you dealt with it, I know you'd have dealt with it fairly carefully,
yeah.
And if there was a falling out, I could just say, those wretched motorhome people, I wouldn't have any truck with them either. That's the way life works. So we get a bit of a cycle going where dealers run with us for a number of years, kid themselves that they could do it cheaper and better, and then a couple of years later they come back and say, "Oh, please, could we start again?"
Yes.
And I think there's quite a powerful lesson in that story.
Well, my own experience is we had a fridge fail on a motorhome we sold after just 6 months.
Right.
And the circuit board in it went. It was £230 for the board, and the board was no longer available. And I thought, well, we'll have to replace the fridge, which we chose to pay, and it was nearly £2,000. The claims limit was £1,000, so we put the claim into you guys, and I thought, well, we'll only get the 230 quid for the board. And bless you paid out £1,000. I was stunned. So really, really positive experience. And I was quite taken aback that you were prepared to do that. Why would you do that?
Well, obviously, we're insuring the customer's product, and if the part or the board is no longer available, we have a responsibility to the policyholder to then replace that product or up to the value of their claims limit on that policy. So that's why you got £1,000 for effectively what was a £230 board, because that board was no longer available. So we then gave you the maximum claim limit that we could for your policy in order for you to be able to repair that fridge.
It was much appreciated. Are you finding that claims are going up? I mean, motorhome sales, caravan sales have increased, so no doubt there's a proportionate increase in claims. But
interestingly, claims frequency, e.g. for every 100 policies, the number of people who make a claim has gone up significantly in the last 2 or 3 years, which we think is reflective, A, of new entrants, new owners in the marketplace who probably don't understand how to look after a caravan or motorhome as well, and secondly, these things are getting more complex. They have multi-digital communication and stereo centres in them, all sorts of electronic equipment that 5 years ago would have seemed like a pipe dream, or you'd have only seen on a 100-gram motorhome. Now they're becoming ubiquitous, and they inevitably generate problems.
So inevitably then that's going to push the premiums up, isn't it?
It is doing, and it has done. We're not as cheap as we used to be.
No.
We will probably become more expensive in the future because we have to respond to the level of claims. So we pay our claims in as quickly, sensibly and as promptly as we can, but if we're paying out claims, somebody has to ultimately fund the cost, but at least you're spreading the load amongst all the other owners. And you know that your insurance is there, and if you have a problem, one email or phone call and we'll do our best to take your problem away.
One interesting thing I found that you've got in your business portfolio is you're actually supplying a warranty to the manufacturers, so they can offer an extended warranty as the manufacturer, but actually you're underpinning it. This is a new sort of facet to your offering, isn't it?
This is a new facet that we're encouraging, working with one particular major manufacturer at the moment, and we think it's a way forward for manufacturers because it allows them to give cover out to 10 years from point of purchase. So it's giving the customer reassurance that for a very long period of time and at point of sale of the caravan, there's still a warranty on this that essentially says this piece of kit is good for a good number of years yet. Because if we're going to be really honest, the nature of caravans and to a lesser extent motorhomes, they rattle down the roads, they do develop leaks, they do develop problems as a result of the way they're treated, and having a warranty just gives you that peace of mind that there's an easy solution prepaid.
Now I probably can guess the answer to this question, but what's the number one claim that you get submitted?
I would say probably water ingress is the number one claim. We do see a lot of them, as you're aware, and it has its peaks and troughs. It does happen. These things do leak. They've got moving parts on them, like Paul said, they're rattling down the road. So these things do happen, and again, we pay out successfully a lot of the time in terms of the claims on the water ingress. Hence why we are working with the manufacturers now to build their extended policy up to 10 years for water ingress on their products through the manufacturers.
Well, it seems like a no-brainer for me, for them, from their point of view. So thank you guys for both joining us on the stand, and have a great rest of the show, won't you?
So that's Danny Robertson, the head of field sales at MB&G Insurance, and Paul Smith, the MD at the same company. Now, just picking up different types of warranty provision. There's dealer underwritten or insurance company underwritten.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the customer is concerned, what's the difference?
So, well, as I said earlier, really, if you're in Scotland and you break down, having a dealer underwritten policy might mean they say, yeah, bring it back, we'll get it sorted for you. Well, that's no good, because I'm in Cornwall as a dealer, for example. Whereas if you've got an insurance policy underwriting it, they will allow you to go to any VAT registered garage, is normal, and they will pay the garage. We up the hourly rate to £60 per hour when we're putting a warranty on a vehicle, which is a far more reasonable rate than many warranty providers will supply. And £60 covers most dealers, their hourly rate. And the other thing that MB&G will do is if you break down in France, they will still cover the cost of the repair. They'll ask you to pay for it and get a copy of an invoice, and they'll reimburse you less that company's tax, and which I think is a great service. So that's the main difference, really, is peace of mind wherever you are. You don't have to go back to the dealer to get the repairs done.
So are you saying that actually a dealer underwritten policy is not as good as an insurance company underwritten policy?
Personally, and this is my own opinion, I think a insurance policy is probably better, because I haven't got to try and deal with a dealer who might be busy, might be on holiday. I'm dealing with an insurance broker, an insurance company who this is all they do.
Right, insurance is going up hugely on cars. What's it like for motorhomes and caravans?
The insurance itself is going up, certainly, yeah, and premiums on warranties are going up as well. As Paul said, they're seeing an increased number of claims as vehicles get more complicated, and that is going to have a knock-on effect.
It's electric vehicles, isn't it? It's because mending an electric vehicle is hugely expensive, and even those of us who haven't got one are expected to pay the bills for the people who have. It's true.
Yeah, but EV motorhomes are years away. We know that. Well, these guys are only covering, this is their motorhome policy, and they are going up in price.
Right. So you're not subsidising somebody in a car. Okay, then. The prices for warranties, not just insurance, they're on the rise as well. I suppose the two are linked, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, motorhomes are becoming more complicated. The componentry in them, the levels of it is going up, and there's just more to go wrong, frankly. Even reversing cameras are becoming more complicated. It sounds like a simple bit of kit, but they're becoming more. There's more tech in them. The head units in the dashboards, the sat navs, Bluetooth. We want all this provision of kit. It can fail.
So claims are on the up. That's a fact, and that will drive up premiums. Interesting that MB&G are a warranty underwriter for a motorhome or caravan manufacturer.
Yeah.
So what does that say about the manufacturer's confidence in their own product?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, isn't it? So MB&G are starting to work with more and more manufacturers of motorhomes and caravan builders. So the manufacturer wants to extend the warranty. Increasingly, we're seeing a 10-year water ingress warranty on the vehicle. And that's a risk for the manufacturer, because if the build quality isn't quite there, there's a chance of water ingress. Then, if they're offering a 10-year warranty, they've got to underwrite that and pay for the repair. And damp repairs are expensive. They really are. They can be, easily 10, 12, 15,000 pounds or more. That's a big outlay. And so what MB&G are doing is offering a service to the manufacturers where they will underwrite it, and therefore the manufacturer is not having that risk. So it's an insurance policy for the manufacturer of the motorhome or caravan.
I hope that's been of help to you, especially if you're buying insurance or warranties. The thing to do is read the policies, but don't dismiss them out of hand. I presume that's your advice, because people are just trying to knock some money off by saying forget the warranty. But that's you shouldn't be doing that, should you?
Well, the thing is, if you don't have one, then you're at risk that if something does go wrong, you are going to be in the chair for it. If a fridge fails, that could be £2,000. That's a lot of money.
So if you got the cash, fair enough. If not. It's the Motorhome Matt podcast, brought to you by thatleisureshop.com. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
I ask the silly questions, and Matt, you give the answers, don't you?
Well, I'll try.
Well, we reached the stage in the podcast where the question and answers where I stop asking the stupid questions. I just leave that up to you. No, I'm only joking. I'm joking.
No one will ask a question ever again.
I am joking. Matt Furno's in Nailsea.
Hello, Matt and Keith. Love the podcast. It's Matt from Nailsea up the road here. I'm more caravan Matt, less motorhome Matt, I guess. Was interested to hear in your podcast about the Solbio product, looking to make the switch. Sounds like the right thing to do for the environment. Thing is, to date, I've always been buying the twin packs from Thetford of the blue and the pink toilet chemicals. So pink for the flush, blue for the cassette. You use a lot less of the pink flush fluid than you do the blue stuff. Guess it's because you dilute it a lot more than you do the blue stuff. So my question is, if I make the switch now to Solbio, am I okay to use what I've got left over of the pink flush fluid with the Solbio in the toilet cassette? Or do you need to make sure you're using Solbio both to flush and also in the toilet cassette itself? If you know the answer to that, that'd be great. Thanks, guys.
So, Matt, what's the answer?
Well, we checked with John Morley, who is the wholesaler of Solbio into the UK, and he said, as I thought, no, they can't be used together, as pink flush kills bacteria and Solbio promotes good bacteria. You should add a half dose of Solbio, that's 20 ml, each time you fill up your flush tank with water. It'll also keep your flush tank clean and will stop the black bits flushing into your toilet bowl, which is what can happen with the pink flush.
The black bits?
The black bits. So when you take a motorhome or caravan out of storage, you flush the toilet for the first time, you get all these tiny little black fluffy bits coming round the bowl, and it's just bacterial build-up in the tank or in the pipe. And what Solbio does is it kills that off. Very good. So the answer, Matt, is no. Don't mix it with your pink, but you can use it in your flush tank.
It's one or the other.
Yep.
Chris is in Bristol.
Hello, Matt. This is Chris, more commonly known as Bertie B from Bristol. And I've just been watching your podcast with your little mate there, Chris, which is my name as well, by the way. And I was thinking, Solbio, can you use that can you put that in your water tank in your motorhome and clean it out and then flush it through later? Thanks a lot. Podcasts are great. Cheers. Bye.
And that's so great that you remember my name. It's Keith. It's Keith. Chris.
All right, Chris.
Yeah. Cheers, Chris.
And anyway, Bertie Rabbit. We'll get his name wrong. So no, Chris, don't put it in your freshwater tank. I'm assuming you mean freshwater. You didn't say if you meant freshwater or grey water. Grey water, definitely yes. It's ideal for that. Just pour it down your sink and it will work a treat in your grey water tank. But in your freshwater, no. If you watch last week's episode or hear it, you'll hear me drinking it. Whilst you can, I don't recommend you do. It does not taste nice. So no, I would not be recommending you use it in your freshwater tank.
There you go. Colin Coulthard is in Harrow.
Hi Matt, it's Colin from Harrow again. We've just started using our new mobile home at the weekends, and we're finding we're having lots of condensation problems on the windscreen and side windows. We're looking to invest in an external windscreen cover for the main front windscreen, but what about the side windows? Is something like your control products with crystals or electric dehumidifier the best option? Thanks very much. Great to hear the podcasts. Bye for now.
Cheers, Colin Coulthard in Harrow. So, I mean, do the crystals clear the condensation on everything?
Well, they will. So Colin is busy enjoying his brand new Rhymer. Congratulations, Colin. You finally got it. So there's two issues here, really. One is the silver screen cover. And I say silver screen, that's a brand of cover. There are lots of makes of covers, but they usually are silver because they have an insulative property. Is that a word?
An insulative or property?
An insulation.
I don't know. Shall I ask Chris?
So normally when you buy a screen cover, Colin, they include the side windows. So I'd recommend definitely covering all of the windows. So we sell the Maypole ones, we sell the Quest ones in the shop at That Leisure Shop, and they all cover the side windows and the front windscreen. Some of them have a pocket you can fold down so you can look out the window in the morning, but these are a game changer when it comes to condensation inside the glass. The cab is the coldest bit of the motorhome, and that's why you get so much water forming on the glass, because it's coming into contact with the cold surface. So the screen covers, the external screen covers, make a massive difference, and I would definitely be covering the side windows. You can also buy internal ones that are not as effective at all, but if it's really cold, you can buy those that are thermal as well and really make the whole cab warm. You can also buy a cab cover, so it covers your windscreen, the side windows, and the bonnet, and that stops the draft that you might feel coming up through the footwell too. They are really good, and you can go all out and spend a lot of money on these things. So do your research, as I know you will, Colin, and find the best one for you. I have found that the cheaper ones are just as good. They're brilliant, and they do kill the condensation. The control units that you mentioned, control with a K, are ideal when it's in storage. I think if you're in it and you were to put the control units in there, you would flood them really quickly because you are generating such a lot of water that the control unit's going to be fighting against the ambient moisture in the air and you, and they just wouldn't cope. So that's not what they're for. And then you mentioned a dehumidifier. You could put one of those in when you're in it, but again, you're going to be emptying it very often. They, again, are really for when the vehicle is empty and in storage.
There you go, Colin. I hope you've got something from that. By the way, those control crystals, they are dirt cheap, aren't they?
£2. I mean, $2.99 or something. I've mentioned before, I've put them in a car through the winter and previously gone back in the spring, and it's covered in green moss, like mould all over the steering wheel, the gear stick, and it's just bacteria that's living on there that moulds up over the winter. I put the control units in last winter, came back, no green. It's amazing. I thought this is not going to work. They absolutely do. And they're in different sizes. So the really tiny ones are literally £2-3, and you can tuck them in the cupboards, in the wardrobe, under the sofa. Really good.
And they're refillable as well.
Yeah, just top them up by the refill bag, keep the plastic thing, keep using that, and then every so often go back and just tip the water out and top them up and go again.
And Matt, you made a very good point there about if you're in the motorhome, you are breathing out lots of vapour. You're sucking in the oxygen, you're processing it, getting up to the temperature of your body, which, what was it, 94 degrees or something, or 84 degrees, and then breathing it out. And as you were saying, of course, you're warming up the atmosphere around you.
Yeah, I can't remember what the number is, but it's a remarkable amount of moisture that we breathe and generate through the night. It's an incredible amount. And in a motorhome and caravan, that is why when you wake up, usually the windscreen is covered in water, and these screen products really do minimise it, really good. Otherwise, you spend the first hour of a day trying to wipe the windscreen or use a Karcher thing that makes available, obviously, sucking the water off before you can drive anywhere because you can't blooming see.
If people want to get in touch and ask a question, Matt, what should they do?
Really, really easily. Just go to mhmp.info/ask Matt. Hit the little orange button and record your question. We'd love it if you did that. But please tell us where you are in the country. If you'd rather not do that, there is a form you can fill out, and then Keith or I will read your question.
We always love to hear your voice. Just get my name right. Leave us a review, mhmp.info/review. That's mhmp.info/review. It's Motorhome Matt podcast, you see, MHMP. There is reason behind our madness. What about subscribing, Matt?
Yeah, you can do that on YouTube. Click the little bell, and then we will tell you when new videos are released. And YouTube is sponsored by our video partners, arabasecreative.co.uk.
And if people have friends, what should they do?
Yeah, if you've got a friend called Chris, then make sure you share it with them, or Keith. We would love it if you would share it with a friend, help grow the podcast. I'm sure if you found it entertaining or informative, then maybe somebody else will too.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, Keith.
Give us a Chris.
No, put that mistletoe away.